Man, this is the reason why so many men get divorced from women.
I have only learned one thing in 20 years of marriage, and it's this: happy wife, happy life.
When I was young, my dad told me that's the secret. Happy wife, happy life.
You say something?
No.
Good.
Yeah, happy wife, happy life.
Oh, those guys are done.
I watch whatever TV she wants to watch.
Saying a happy wife equals a happy life is one of the worst pieces of advice in making a marriage happy and having a long-term, thriving relationship with your wife or girlfriend. And the crazy part about all this is that science even says it's true. It's pretty interesting. But look, I get it. When your wife or girlfriend is happy, you feel on top of the world, like you're the man. But unfortunately, I'm gonna tell you through this video that if you live along this adage, long-term, you will not be in a successful relationship with your partner, and she will leave you. The first reason why happy wife doesn't equal happy life is what I call the blueprint mismatch. Look, because men are more in their masculine, and we think in terms of objective, externalized things to make us happy, where women, they're more in their feminine. That means they're more about in the moment. Not what's on paper, but just how do you feel around that person in the present moment. You see, with guys, we think that a wife is happy, a woman is happy when I have X amount of dollars, when I look a certain way, when I'm around the kids a certain amount of time during the day. And with women, those things are somewhat important. But what's more important is how you show up with her every single moment. If a woman's watching this, or ask your wife, but most women will say they'd rather be living in a poor, rundown house that is with a guy that is loving, caring, attentive, ambitious, that has the capacity to make money, that still takes care of himself. But it doesn't matter if there is a lot of money coming in each month. Even like the good looks, like so many guys, I was a dating coach back in the day, and even like when it comes to good looks, a lot of guys would think like women are attracted to 6 foot, 7 figures, 8. You get the point, right? But if you ask a lot of women, at the end of the day, what they actually respond to is how a man shows up in his behaviors and who he is internally. So that blueprint mismatch when it comes to happy wife, happy life is that the guy will focus on the wrong things to make his wife happy. And when she's not, he says, what the hell? The second reason why happy wife doesn't equal happy life is the happiness illusion. Dr. Jordan Peterson explains this one really well.
What does the optimal relationship look like in terms of positive and negative emotion? You might say, well, utopia, nothing but positive interactions. It's like, no. Imagine you get people to code the interactions they have with their partner during the day. You know, you sample it. You say, was that interaction positive or negative? And then what you're trying to do is predict the longevity of the relationship. Okay, so here's the data. If it falls under 5 positive interactions to 1 negative interaction, the relationship doesn't continue. Fair enough, too much negative. That's easy to understand. If it exceeds 11 positive to 1 negative, the relationship doesn't last. Why? No challenge. Right? What do you want from your partner? Bliss? No. No, you don't. You want periods of peace punctuated by a good fight. And because that means you respect them, it means you have something to offer each other, and it means that you're both growing.
Your wife wants to fight with you. That's the basis of all of that study. So let's move on to the next one. For the final part of this, I got on a call with a wife yesterday, actually, from one of the men in my marriage mastery program. And I asked her, I always ask the same question to the guys and the wives. I say, what are the top 3 things that cause the marriage to be where it's at right now? And most women say the core same issues: lack of emotional connection, the inability to communicate, and usually it's appreciation. But in this case, she said something that was interesting that applies to this video. She goes, honestly, I felt like I was his whole life, that I was dependent on him and he was dependent on me, and we didn't have balance. I wanted him to have hobbies. I wanted him to have interests that when we sit at the dinner table, he talks about something other than work or the family. Like, I love that he's so passionate about that, but I want him to have his own life that would make me look up to him. And you see, so many men think to themselves, if I sacrifice, I'm gonna be a good husband, I'm gonna be a good father, I'm gonna make this money, I'm gonna do these things that disconnect with that blueprint we talked about earlier. It causes guys to get resentful when the wife is upset and when she's not happy. And this constant disconnection just leads to separation. You know, and women wanting you to be the best version of yourself. And it all really applies to this quote from David Data. He says, the most loving women are the women who will test you the most. She wants you to be your fullest, most magnificent self. She won't settle for anything less. She knows it is true of you. She knows in your deepest heart you are free. You are Shiva. Anything less than that, she will torment. And as you know, she's quite good at it. Now, what I found with so many men across the program that I help save their marriages in a matter of weeks and months is they focus on these core issues. Yeah, maybe on the surface, your marriage is different than every other guy out there, absolutely. But to the root, the core issues are always the same. That emotional connection, the being assertive as a man, focusing on the right things, knowing how to communicate with your wife and how to deal with that conflict, having the right blueprint about happiness. These are all things I teach guys. Now, if you want help and support with that, what you're going to do right now is set up a call with me or my lead coaches down below, our marriage evaluators. And what we'll do on that free call is we'll assess your marriage, where it got to where it's at, and then how you get back to the path. If not going back to where you were, but even better than before. Smash like, watch this video right here. You know I love you, and I'll see you in the next one.